Howdy, and all aboard for episode 4 of The Last Caboose. We are moving on the iron rails now. Luckily, the CPR chose Calgary as a stop on the move westward. In the 1880s, speculation was hot on the route the railroad would take. Land speculators were buying land in the hopes they would be the founders of the next Chicago. Many fortunes were made and lost on the simple curve in a track. When the Transcontinental Railroad was first commissioned, the route chosen over the Rockies was the much lower and more cost-effective Yellowhead Pass to the north. Gradients were low and the valleys were wide. At the time, it seemed the only choice. However, the whiskey bootleggers from the States and the need to have a quick mode of transport along Canada's only border swayed political powers to mandate the southern route. So here we are, moving up the Bow Valley, and the powers that be haven't even started surveying beyond McMillan's camp in the Columbia Valley. And this pace, we will be there by next summer. So here we are, we're on our plank train. I have taken the opportunity to do quite a bit of detailing between episodes. I was filming the detailing and realized it would be one heck of a boring episode. This water that you see, the Bow River here, so lovely and pristine, it's a glacier-fed river, is actually an asset that comes from Ingu. I believe you saw me place it going over the Bowness Bridge in Calgary, and it takes quite some time to place and then paint and detail around. As you can see, I haven't mowed all the grass quite yet under the river, but we'll get there as time goes on. I also added some deciduous trees closer to the river as they would be. Most of the forests around Calgary are... Ooh, that tree is a little close. I think we'll have to go out and delete that one on a future detailing episode. Hopefully I'll remember by the end and it won't be in there in our next Caboose ride. But anyway, as I was saying, the deciduous trees are a little bit closer to the river up this far north where they can get a little bit more water, and then the remainder of the trees in the Calgary area are pretty much pine and coniferous trees. Lodgepole pine is the predominant tree in the Rocky Mountains, so this gives us a glimpse at some different tree types. There are quite a few trees close. We'll have to do a little bit of pruning on this railroad by the looks of it. But here we are coming around a curve around the Bow River. It's a beautiful river valley. I'm looking forward to future Caboose rides as we work our way west. But in order to work our way west, we're going to have to make some money. So let's hop off this train, and I'll show you a few things that I set up at the beginning of my film of the detailing episode, and then realize quickly that nobody would want to watch me place this river for the next hour and a half. So what I've done up here in Cochrane is I've set up a very small tool delivery line, and we have one wagon on it right now, so we do have demand started here. And in order to, and I also moved this switch just a little bit further out on the main line here, just so the trains can be a little bit longer. They can hang over the edge of the platform and still turn around appropriately. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to manage this vehicle straight away, just so I do not forget. And I'd like to add some boxcars to it. So if we come in and we add let's say 4 boxcars on, and let's move our appropriate caboose all the way to the back. And that's going to cost $815,000. Do I want to add one more? No, let's just go with that. And now that should trigger demand and start triggering this plant here to actually start producing tools. So we may not see it on the first one, but we will definitely see it on the next run. Another thing, when we do that, we're going to have to go ahead and go to the line, and we're going to manage the line. right now I have wait until full at Cochrane sidings, and if I go load just this, I wonder if it's going to still wait. So I did run into a problem where the planks were full, but the boxcars, of course, are empty, and the train would not go. So I'm wondering if I just put that on, if that'll work. If not, we'll just keep an eye on it here. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to start moving people here in Calgary, and I think the best route, we want to utilize this line, get another train on here, and move people up into Cochrane. So let's get a train station up here in Cochrane. Let's start there, and what we're going to do is we're going to just get the rough idea of where we're going to go with this. And what I think is, if we can go like this, of course want nice and flat, and there we go. I think that should be good. Let's see if we can get our first passenger station in. Now we got to find shift M and N, and that'll make for a pretty harsh curve on the way out of town. I think I like this a little bit better. So if I can get this placed up right about here. Yep, I think so. And then I think what we'll do is we'll end up knocking back the track just a tad, and having a nice smooth transition into that station. Yeah, I like that. I am a fan. Okay, perfect. Now this track here is going to be our main line. As I mentioned before, I'd like to do all of our stations and our sidings in the very beginning of the game as just single tracks, as it would have been, and as we move forward in the future, I will try and change them, make them more realistic to how the game, and also kind of work within the constraints of trying to make some money here. So we're going to add that that there, and then I want to put two-way signal at the end of the station, leaving, and I think we should have a two-way signal here as well, leaving the sidings. If we could get that in there, and I would like any train coming along, this is going to also be two-way. If we do have trains in the future, if they're coming along, I'd like them to reserve this chunk of track first, so I'm going to place it a little bit further back, and that way we give priority to any train passing through to any train starting out from the siding. So I think we're going to have to double up some of our track here. Now, much of this track in current day is single track, but in the past, it did used to be mostly double tracked all the way to the Rogers Pass. Only parts of the Rogers Pass were single track. Most of the CPR main line was double tracked. Now, I'm not going to double track the whole thing. I'm just going to add passing loops for now. Simply because we've got to buy a train at the end of this, and it would be unfortunate if I spent all of our money double tracking and then could not afford a train. So I think we're going to double track in the more obvious, flatter, wider regions, maybe just prior to that bridge before these big tight turns. I think we're going to add a couple of passing loops, and that will allow us to get one or two more trains on the line before we have to go ahead and double track the entire thing. Now I think we'll probably knock this back just a bit. Now I have to be careful. Now as you could see, like, I might accidentally delete our water asset. So it is, I am going to have to be very, very careful when I come to deleting. I've already deleted them 5 or 6 times by accident, and it is frustrating trying to get them back in and lined up. So I think that should do it for double tracking. And now we've got to get our train station in here in Calgary. And this is going to be somewhat of a costly affair. Oh, look at that. I did take out a whole bunch of palm trees in Calgary on the previous episode. I just didn't happen to get them all. Some reason palm trees keep sprouting up down here. I have no idea if it's something to do with being so close to the sea level or what, but certainly would not find palms here in Calgary. So I think we're going to come out of Calgary on a double track, and as it starts to curve in and around the Sunken Gardens and Edworthy area, I will bring it back to single track. And like I said, for now, even in Calgary, I'm going to keep my building just to one track, and we will be expanding this one, but I think we're going to be expanding further to the south than we are to the north. In fact, I'll probably end up removing this train station entirely and reworking it in the future, much like our freight terminals in Calgary. We're just simply getting a base, getting the main line built out to Banff, and then we're going to end up tweaking, modifying, and trying to see this this railroad function in all of its many different eras. It has a very long history, both in passenger and in freight. It still carries so much freight today. A lot more oil now than grain. Used to be the main grain train all the way to the western ports, and now I believe it's more of an oil corridor. So here, if we finish signaling up, I want this to be a two-way signal. So I want this to be a two-way signal here, and one just before the junction there. And I would like this probably just before the junction as well, or just before the crossing, just to protect that crossing. I don't want trains stuck and sitting across it. Now we're going to put in our one-way signals. We're going to put them opposite sides of our passing loops. I feel that there probably isn't a need for blocking just quite yet, so we're just going to add some protection signals, and we're going to look into creating our first passenger network. Now, to get that all in and working correctly, it would be nice to see here these palm trees sprouting up again. I have no idea. If you guys have any idea why those keep sprouting up, and I don't think they're growing, I think they were there from the beginning, but I did make this map temperate, so there is no reason they should be there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take this right off of here, and we're going to just place a pass-through bus stop, I believe, if I have the room. It would be fantastic if I did, and I do. Now the question is, can we leave on the other side? That's the real big question. It would be great if I could do 20 meters. Can we do that? No, I think that's asking a bit too much. We're going to have to rework parts of this map, but I don't feel like demolishing much of Cochrane, as it is still a pretty small town right now, and exiting is going to be difficult without destroying everything, so we'll make that just a turnaround for now, and like I said, in the future we will rework this area into a little bit of a more passenger friendly area. So now we got that, and then I think in Cochrane what we're going to do is just a very simple loop around the main square of the town. And we're going to do much the same in Calgary. Again, we're just going to get this in. I think what we'll do is we'll make a nice straight road here in front. And we'll hook in here. And it would be nice to bring another. Oh, I think our switch is in the way here. Yes, it certainly is. So it would be nice to bring in another road. Oh, it's allowing us to bring in a road here. But the question is, can we get that junction nice and flat? So a good way to do that is, like I was showing before, we'll just force the game's hand by flattening out some land either side of the track, and we'll go ahead and we'll put a road in. And it's still fairly bumpy. I am not a fan of that. Let's see if I can get that a little flatter. Ooh, I like where that's going. Okay, I like the idea. Now, that's nice and flat, or at least a low curve. I'm fine with a little bit of a hump. And now, let's see how many buildings we destroy to get in here. It does not like that. One building, 163,000. Sure. You know what? I'm okay with it. And if you ever run into a situation like this, you can take this road, extend it out, bring this road straight in to your T-junction, and then if you really like, you can just delete that side. So here, I think it would be beneficial to build a bigger waiting area, but I think what we're going to do is, again, for simplicity's sake, I'm going to just put a bus stop right in front of the terminal for now, and we'll do our best. Now, the question is, do I share with this for some cross line? Possibly. I think maybe we come in down here. Maybe we share by coming across, and then we'll come around like that. There we go. And this being a slow carriage line, I'd like to add as many stops as possible. So let's get us a new line, and we're going to add start at the station, go around, we're going to follow through, sharing with our stagecoach line to the north and the south. And Calgary's bus system right now is red, but when I grew up it was nice light blue or a medium blue. So let's color it this color, and we'll call it the One Calgary Station Loop. And I think we should probably add one or two stagecoaches to this line. Well, let's go for 4. They'll space out, and there should be demand fairly quickly. And now, much the same here in Cochrane. And we will make a new line, and we will go around our simple square. And let's color Cochrane a nice forest green. We'll call this the One Cochrane Exchange. No, there's no exchange. Let's call it Station Loop as well. And like I said, we'll come back and we'll revisit these several times throughout the future. I think this one will only put 2 on, just for simplicity's sake here. There we go. Now, this train has pulled up, and I am now confused to... Oh no. Let's manage this line. Oh dear. Okay. Let's go manage line. I have... Who spotted that? And who was yelling at me and telling me, oh no, what have you done? What have you done? Let's see. Now if it's logs, or sorry, planks, we might... Yeah, there we go. Well, that might have been a bit of a costly mistake, but let's see how much... let's build this new line while that sets up. So let's head up over here to Calgary. We're going from Calgary Central... Oh dear. Nope. No, I want to build a new line. There we go. We're heading from Calgary Central to Cochrane. And let's see if it's done everything nicely. It's coming around here. Excellent. Absolutely excellent. It stays on this outside track, which is what I like. It doesn't flip back and follow that one, so it does bypass the sidings, which is exactly what I was hoping for. So let's color this line. Well, the CPR was deep mauve, a mauve red. So let's color it mauve, and let's call this the Bow Valley line. Now let's see how much it's... Oh, what? Train 1. No path. Oh dear. Sometimes that's just a stop and a start. Let's see. Yeah, Cochrane sidings, Ogden Yard. How is there no path? Okay. Let's see. Are you good here? Yeah, you're sharing the line here. Well, sometimes things like this happen, so let's go to Cochrane sidings. And let's click on our train. Having problems getting our train. There we go, and let's flip it and flip it back. Now, if you ever do this, you've got to let the train get about halfway out of the station before it's going to get right back into the station, or before it's going to allow itself to go back in. So we'll just wait for that caboose to pass that little cargo symbol, and we'll try and flip it back in and see if it picks up its planks now. There we go. Now, hopefully, it will start picking up its planks, and like I said, we want to keep an eye on that, as we do want to make sure that it's going to take a full load of planks. There we go, everything's sorted out. This game has a wacky mind of its own. So, like I said, we were heading off, and let's see how much a new train consist is going to cost us. So let's color this consolidation black, and then I think some passenger cars, and let's color them nice CPR red. And if we put on 2 for now, which has a capacity of 32, we're going to be at $2.5 million. So do I have any loan? I have $1 million left to take out, but I'd like to leave that just in case we get ourselves in a pickle. So we're gonna have to wait on this train. So let's speed this up and see if this train starts picking up. Now let's take a quick look at all of our lines, and let's look at our line rates. Now, oh, here we go. I'm back to having to go to bed. There we go. Let's see. What's not making us money? Bragg Creek Log Haulage. Why aren't you making us money? Are there logs on the platform? No. So let's hold on. Let's find out why. It's producing 400 logs. This is connected. And this is not. We have lost connection. Somehow, some way. So let us rebuild this road right here, and that might actually start making us money again. I am not sure. We are too far away from it there. This piece of dirt has confused me, and we lost our connections. So let's make that, and now we have our proper connections. That comes in there. If we can demolish that out there, we might even have to demolish that. I've stranded that poor horse. So now that we've stranded that horse there, we can't actually, until we connect it back to something, move that horse, and we won't be able to delete that. So I'm gonna just quickly go like that, and let's put our building back in. I'd say 30 meters long, 0 platforms on the right, and let's get that spun around so it works with us. And now we have proper connection. Now this will make us money. This has been running for a while, as I haven't noticed it up to this point, so it has just been kind of a big loser. A big red mark on our otherwise pretty healthy books for at this time of gameplay. So we'll just make these corrections, and that's why it's always good to stop, have a moment, and say, what is the state of play everywhere? And you'll catch these things. We're not all perfect. We're not always all there. As I said, I record these a lot at night after long days of work, so these things happen, and that's all right. Sometimes they're, as Bob Ross would like to say, happy accidents. This one, just a costly accident. So the line should have updated itself here. So if we go and we look, yep, the line has updated itself. I would like to force the horses around, so I'm going to put that waypoint in. I'm going to grab the line here, and after Jackson Street, we're going to go via this waypoint, Cockram waypoint number 2, and that line should start making us money. Yep, look at that. Logs are already piling up. So let's go back. We'll look again. The plank freight, Calgary food delivery. Now, why is this line not making us money? Let's go and take a peek at it. By all rights, it should be making us lots of money. But it seems to be favoring all of the food freight to Airdrie right now. So I am never sure why this is. Is it frequency? No, because Calgary food delivery has a much greater frequency than Airdrie food delivery. So it's not a delivery issue. It is... Now, I'm not too worried about the stagecoach lines not making us money, but I'm not entirely sure. And we'll see if this tool plant is starting to produce. So we just don't have it out on our platform yet, because you have to pass the threshold the threshold of production, and keep it there. So let's go back and we'll check out this plank train here. And it's slowly loading up. This could be quite costly, this mistake, but we've got nothing but time. So again, check in on the state of play. Everything else is making money. Not huge sums of money if we can bring this up, but enough. If we go into our balance sheets, we are roughly making road $286,000, and our loan interest is $90,000 now. So we will be covering our loan, but we are certainly not making huge amounts of profit just with our trucks. And that's really what I want to do, is I want to be able to take our road and be able to cover our loan interest, and then anything from the railroad is a super bonus. So here we are, we're almost full on the planks here, and I am curious to see if it will pull away at 100% full plank, or if it will attempt to fill up the boxcars. And if it does, we'll have to change the line mechanics and see if that will help. Yep, here we go. Now there are a couple of options when we change the line mechanics. If we open up the line, manage line, we could say minimum stop time, or we could change the maximum stop time to say 30 seconds. So after it stops filling, it will only wait 30 more seconds and then go. Or we could just say wait until any load and just pull away. So we'll have to see which is going to be the best for us here. Okay, now we are completely full, and this train is still sitting here. So we are going to manage the line, and let's see if we change maximum stop time to 20 seconds. Off it goes. And hopefully we'll be making some good money on that once it gets in. Now, my plan in the future here, or probably next episode, is to head up the Bow Valley some more. We do cross the Bow River one more time here, right here, and we are going to head up the Bow Valley, and we are going to gain access to our log in the Kananaskis Valley, and more importantly is we're going to key in and we're going to grab the stones from the construction, or not the stones, sorry, we're going to grab the construction material from Exshaw's plants, and we're going to bring them back out into the wider map here, Cochrane. It's going to get Cochrane growing quite a bit more rapidly. Let's see, that train is boogieing along. Hopefully we can get it in. So the game always starts out slow, and that's why I'm so absolutely wonderfully pleased that we are able to pause dates now in Transport Fever 2. Transport Fever 1, it always felt like most of the gameplay took place after about 1950, and then prior to that you just spent waiting to make money to do anything. So this really makes you enjoy the early eras of Transport Fever 2. As you can tell, I'm a bit of a history buff, so that really pleases me. So here we are, ripping past our brand new station here in Calgary, and I think once this comes in, I would like to just check on the state of play of our tools and see if we're actually going to start producing any. It would be nice to set up the line so this side would wait, but I really need this train to go out and start making us some money. So here we go. We are making enough tools. Now, will we see them come back up onto the yard? That's the really, really big question. And would be nice if we could get them on the platform. You are connected. Yeah. We are connected. It is the only place for them to go. So it would be great if they actually went there. Again, I am unsure why they are not going on that. So if you have any ideas, answers in the comments, that would be fantastic. My only thought is that back here, the wagon that I put on the tool delivery is just not adequate. But it is. It certainly is. This will take tools. If we go here, we go buy vehicle, covered, we'll take all cargo. So tools, we'll just make sure here by heading into buildings and drop off points, we are covering the tools where they actually are. So I am not sure why tools aren't showing up on this platform. Unless they're showing up on another platform and being shipped somewhere else, but no, it says shipment 0%. So hopefully that'll bed in here very quickly, or actually get going. We'll give it 1 or 2 more train times before I really start to panic. But anyway, we've got enough money. Let's purchase our first passenger train. Then maybe we could hop on board and check out the view of the Bow Valley. Oh dear. Well, now I need to modify that. Just go and click happy here. And let's add that to the Bow Valley line. And let's check him coming out. Let's slow this down. Here we go. Ooh, boy, those Pullman class coaches look good in deep red. I believe that's their default color anyway, but that just forces the hand. Look at that. That's going to get to speed quite quickly, and hopefully that will spark demand, get the AI realizing that they can travel from Cochrane to Calgary, and wouldn't that be great? Now, like many services, there was very rarely Caboose on the back of passenger services. It was mainly a freight vehicle or a freight wagon, and that was simply because freight trains are so long that there was no way that the engineer could see the back, and the caboose was to communicate what a conductor would be communicating in a passenger train. So I will keep true to realism and definitely not put cabooses on my passenger trains. I think that that's just fair. So I think what we want to do is we're going to ride up here, right down a little bit lower. We're going to pop on to the service platform here. Definitely not a recommended place to ride, but I think that will conclude a fairly short episode. But it's been a week. I've had a bit of a cold, if you can't tell, and it's good to be back recording and getting some detailing in. So thanks, guys, for tuning in, and we'll see you shortly. I'll make the time interval between recordings a little bit shorter. I'm hoping to do 2 to 3 a week. So I hope to see you guys here on this one will be released Sunday, so I hope to see you guys here Wednesday, and then maybe I'll release a bonus episode Friday this week. So thank you so much, and have yourselves a great night.